Think about what kind of kid you want to be. Hi, guys. This is Riley.
And Brycen.
Back with another episode of Goats in the Making, where we talk about game-changing stories of life, sports, and faith.
On today's episode, we're excited to introduce you to two talented players, Dustin Baber and Evan Gates.
Hello.
Dustin, also known as the Ginger Ninja, is entering his fourth season as the second baseman for the Party Animals of the Savannah Banana organization. Dustin grew up in Central Florida and started his college career at Daytona State College. Then he transferred to North Carolina A&T, where he developed into one of the best defensive shortstops in the conference. He helped the Aggies win their second straight MEAC Southern Division title in 2019 and started all 112 games. He played with the Aggies with a career .306 batting average with 5 home runs and 76 RBIs.
Evan.
Dang, that sounds good.
Evan, or Coach Gator, as his players know him, is a right-handed pitcher who grew up in Roseville, Michigan. Coach Gator attended North Carolina A&T State University, where he and Dustin met and became roommates. During his time at North Carolina A&T, Evan was known for his powerful arm and competitive spirit, helping lead his team to several victories. Evan was drafted by the San Francisco Giants after college and has been climbing the ranks ever since. He has played for various minor league teams, and in 2022, Evan was named the MLB organization All-Star, showcasing his talent and dedication to the game. Off the field, Evan's passionate about giving back to the community. This offseason, Evan has been coaching with my organization, Arrows Baseball, and even participated in a panel during our baptism night this fall.
Are there any other things our guests should know about you?
Baber has a gold glove.
Yeah. It's up there. Somewhere, right there.
Oh, there it is. That's sweet.
Yeah. Gates is probably the best closer I've ever played behind. By far. Not probably his best closer, just best pitcher when handling the game. How about Gates? He's also one of the best human beings. I went to his wedding this past year, and that was special, and happy for him on that. So congrats on that to him.
Thank you, man. Love to have you there.
But
it's a blast.
Yeah, he's one of my closest friends that I've developed over the years. So it's always good to talk to him.
I think he's gassing me up. I'm gonna gas him up too. I think you said his stat of playing every game. I don't think people quite understand how hard that is, especially in our last year. And we would have to play 4 games in 3 days, sometimes 4 games in 2 days. And he was always available for us. And I'll just never forget being his roommate in the last year, just him and I. We were sitting at the table one day and he told me, he's like, man, my arm ain't doing good. So I know he's had Tommy John before. And he said, if you ever see me just walk off the field and throw my glove, just know that it happened. And I never forget being in the bullpen and he made his last throw as our shortstop. And it just shows like his determination. He was still going out there and able to impact the game outside of just behind us because, man, we loved having him that short. But it was funny because the first time I met him, I just play defense. I don't really hit that good. And he was our best hitter. So it just says a lot about, what he did to help us and just being an absolute gamer.
306 gets you into the, I forget the word.
Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it does.
Hey, man. I did my best. Wasn't always the best hitter in the world, but I definitely gave it everything I had and tried to be there for the team. And that was all I ever tried to do. I didn't try to do too much and try to be someone I'm not. I left the power hitting to McLean, Perry, Donnie, all these big power guys, and I just got on base for them.
That
lesson
walk-up
right there. Do your role.
Mm-hmm.
special. You hit a home run after that.
Oh, yeah. Holly home, that was fun.
We like to start off by getting to know our guests with a few this or that and rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Summer.
Yeah.
Winter suck.
Yeah. What's the best cake flavor?
I'm going vanilla.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with them. Vanilla. I'm not really I like to switch it up.
Maybe with some chocolate frosting too. Or red velvet. Jeremiah's mom's red velvet. Right there. That's the one. Remember that
Smacks.
one?
That's Riley's favorite. Finish the sentence. If I'm not at the baseball field, you can probably find me.
Man, that's a good question. Golf course, we'll say.
I mean, that's probably a close second for mine. Like my first one would probably be if I'm not at the baseball field, I'm probably sitting here playing video games. But a close second would be the golf course.
Early bird or night owl?
He better answer his question right, unless you change it on me. I'm an early bird.
Nah, I'm a night owl. I don't go to sleep. I just stay up and then I'll sleep until like 12 o'clock.
Early bird.
Well, yeah, these guys got to go to school, and that's criminal. They have you guys get there at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So you have to be an early bird.
Yeah.
Superheroes or villains?
Superheroes.
Superheroes.
I would say villains, because if there were no villains, there's no purpose for Superman.
Not wrong. I mean, there's always got to be flip side to everything. There's always the opposite to everything.
What's your favorite Bible verse or motto?
Really the whole book, but probably what I got tatted on me when Romans 8:28.
I'm gonna go with a motto, and this is just from the one that I've stuck with more than anything else in my life: is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
It's a good one right there.
It's always just what I've lived by. So show up every day and go to work.
Yeah. My favorite's Joshua 1:9.
Do you quote it?
It is. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
Amen.
Mine is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
So you want to ties into what he said: hard work beats talent. Talent doesn't work hard.
Actually, the funniest thing in the world, I was at a golf tournament in high school, and there was a golfer. Forget which one it was. I really wish I did remember, but he would sign, and every time he signed his name on any piece of equipment or anything, he would always put a Bible verse underneath. He wouldn't write the Bible verse; he would just write what Bible verse, and that was the one that you just said. 2 Corinthians 4:13 is the one he wrote on mine. It's on a hat that I have. I think it's on my backpack stuff. So
sweet.
We're gonna move on and ask some questions about your baseball journey.
Do it.
You've both coached us at one point in our baseball careers. Dustin, you've been helping me review my game film in your off season. You also coached my team in Ohio for the youth tournament. Evan has been coaching Brycen on pitching. How do you use your platform to help young players improve their skills or love the game more?
I guess it's I gotta tell you guys, I enjoy what I get to do so much, and I've met so many amazing people throughout the time that I want to lead the young guys put them in the best position possible, so they can reach a point where I've gotten to experience these things. So that's a big point for me. And honestly, I see a lot of false teaching going on to youth kids, and I think sometimes they try to speed your clock up a little bit too fast. And I just think it's so important to keep y'all understanding how fun this game is, and also give you proper direction. So those are my two driving points on why I care about giving back so much to kids your age, because your guys' passion for the game and your love also refuels mine after every season.
I say the biggest thing working with Riley, and basically whenever I was working with kids back in Clearwater, Florida, before I became a player again, just to find the love for the game itself. And I'm talking about the inner workings of the game, not hitting home runs. Everyone loves that. Everyone loves striking people out. Everyone loves those moments when you're succeeding, but whenever you're failing, or whenever you're just with your teams and the camaraderie that you are having with your teams, just enjoying every moment of that. And obviously with banana ball that we play, we emphasize the fun aspect. But working with Riley recently, it's been fun to talk about bouncing back and forth between having that fun, loving energy all the time, and then whenever that focus time needs to happen, you can lock it back in. So being able to talk about that, the duality of baseball, of having a really good time and being able to lock in and perform, it's just been really fun to show that baseball is a fun sport whenever you make it fun for yourself and don't make it so hard on yourself. So being able to enforce that into the next generation is what I really strive to do.
Yeah. What do you think makes a good leader? And how can youth athletes support their teammates and create a positive environment both on and off the field?
I think a good leader starts with two things, and really three things. You got to be able to communicate well between people. And what leads with that is to be a good listener too. You got to be able to listen to the people around you, but also being courageous, because in a leadership role, eyes are on you. People are going to follow you, and you got to be all right with obviously making the wrong decision and being all right with the times you make the good decision. You may not get all the praise, but I think the number one thing is like being a servant leader, always looking out for your teammate and like just seeing one way you can step up to maybe do a lesser role than you would be. I think even for like your youth guys, why I always get on you guys about cleaning up the dugout. Like I'm a professional baseball player, but I still try and help out the our people that clean stuff for us. But it's like, man, we don't have to leave it mess there. So it's like finding a way to serve those around you, I think is a big quality for a leader.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in the silent leader. I've never been the loudest guy. I've never been the most vocal guy, and that's just how my personality has been my whole life. But I like the silent leader that shows up to work every day. You don't have to wonder where they're going to be. You don't have to wonder what they're doing. You can always count on them to be doing the right thing and doing the thing that's going to help the team the most. And they might not get the most fame or glory from doing that, but you can count on them to do it every time. And the guy getting the bunt down, the guy executing the hit and run, the guy remembering the signs, like putting in the small work and the little details, you can always count on them to show up and do the job the right way. And they don't make a big deal about it. They just go about their business. And I've always gravitated towards a leader like that. And I've tried to become a leader like that in my time of playing. And I think that it's the unsung hero that's what I best see as a leader is just doing your job, like every aspect of it, making sure you're getting your job done so that your team can strive and be really good.
And just to piggyback off that, I think Baber and I were in very similar situations where we were those silent leaders where we would just show up and do our work. But because we did all that stuff, when we did speak up and say our words had more magnitude and people would listen because they know that there's nothing that we were going to tell them that we wouldn't do ourselves or want to be told. So you have all these different types of leaders, and when they gel together, that's what gets it rolling. And just doing what we just said there, like understanding your role and knowing that not everyone's going to be that glamorous, look at me guy. I think the more people that can take that back seat, not really a back seat, but just like understand everyone's sitting at the same table with the same mission to try and win and have fun. So I think that's one way is not to think you're better than a guy next to you, even though you may be. So treat him the same way. And I think that can be very contagious, especially your guys' age across.
Yeah, I think that it's, again, my favorite player growing up was Derek Jeter. And the quote that I had said earlier was the first thing I ever heard from him. And this goes back to all the times that he had superstar years, but they didn't win. And the year didn't mean anything to him. And it obviously he was proud of his time, but he wasn't happy with the finish. And all he cared about was the ring for the team and the success of the team. And if you, as at kids your age, being part of the team and trying to win with the team it should be your main goal. And that's where I think that supporting each other makes the biggest impact for you guys is if your teammate's struggling, understand it's a team game. He's not trying to make the team struggle. He is trying to do his best. So you need to pick him up. And if you have 9 people on the field that are picking each other up whenever they do struggle, whenever you guys at those high points, it's going to feel so much better because everyone's on that same wavelength rather than whenever this guy is struggling, he's left to himself. So now everyone else is up here. He's stuck down here because he wasn't picked up in the right way. So I think that just making sure, and I talked to Riley about this numerous times, if you are one of those silent leaders or if you are one of those vocal leaders, whatever the case may be, making sure that every one of your teammates is picked up and that even if you're winning, losing, struggling, succeeding, making sure that everyone's picked up and you're all on the same level trying to get that same common goal, which is to win at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All right. Dustin, how did you come up with your banana ball image? And Evan, what would you choose for your character and what would you fit best if you played banana? And can you guess what teams that we want to be on for me and Brycen?
So the leprechaun, obviously you're wearing the vest right now, and the one that's right behind me is the very first one I ever wore. That actually is I guess it's kind of like a shout out to my mother. She was the original person that came up with it, and I played in the summer series, which is a 6-game series back in August of 2022, I believe it was. And I didn't have an image, I was just myself. And they asked me to come back with something to make myself bigger, larger than life. And that's whenever my mother, on a random afternoon, suggested the leprechaun because I had been a leprechaun for Halloween multiple times. I fit the image as being one of the shorter guys who were having red hair, and it just everything fit really well. And then obviously, icing on the cake was that I had a gold glove that I actually brought to the tryout and used it. So that was just like a little extra tidbit thrown in there, but. Gillum, Viro, the coaches of Banana Ball, Barry Aldridge, Mike Vivacis, all of them loved the image that I brought, and they saw a future with it. They saw a vision for it, and they signed me on as the now drinking leprechaun, and that's how it all began. So it's definitely a shout out to my mother for coming up with the original idea.
I have a question. Is it actually beer or is it something else?
So in the 2 years that I have been doing the beer chug, every time that it is beer, it is actual beer. There's no false, there's no like apple juice, nothing else thrown in it. It is actual beer. I have done Guinness, which was I tried Guinness, not a big fan of the beer itself. I actually did what's called a Trojan horse, which is Coke and Guinness mixed together. So that's the one time that it wasn't fully true beer. I have done wine, have done a margarita, have done numerous other alcohols, but it has never not been alcohol, which I am not suggesting drinking. Do not drink. Stay away from it. But no,
It's funny he says this because the first time I see him do it, I'm like, he was definitely apple juice. Baber does not drink beer.
Yeah.
So I was blown away when I was like, well, he actually is out there doing that. So
Yeah. But every time it is beer, and it will remain that way because I'm trying to be a genuine person that will not try and lie to people like that. It just gets the people going. Everyone loves it. It's become a staple. So I'm going to keep doing it until they tell me not to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I was to choose an image to represent, I honestly think I'd probably go all out. I would dye my hair probably blonde and try and get a bigger beard. And I would probably take over like that Thor type character because I'd be like a pitcher and I could have like a hammer and stuff. So I definitely think that's where I would go.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would have to get it in the weight room a little bit more for my arms, but definitely that's what I would do.
I like that.
What banana ball on?
What is there? There's 3 of them now.
We got 4.
I always wanted to grow up to be a firefighter, so I just feel like that would probably work out for me.
Oh yeah.
Can you guess which?
Yeah, y'all's favorites are the party animals for sure.
Come on now. I know. Okay, I know Riley wants to play shortstop for the party animals, as his favorite player is Chase Acuff, our current shortstop. I'm gonna guess over here, Brycen, my guy, wants to follow in the footsteps as a banana. If I had to guess, and yeah, no, those are my guesses. I know Riley's
I think
through
you got
and
it
through.
right.
Yeah, he's diehard party animal.
Yeah.
No, not from bananas is not definitely. I'm a party animal, and there's no doubt about it. So
Yes, sir.
it's gonna stay that way.
So
Who wins more?
the first game,
So we won the first tour in 2023. They won 2024. Yeah, they won 2024 this year. So
It's gonna be harder to win now with 4 teams.
I know it's getting tougher. We got a championship this weekend. Huh?
2026, there's going to be a league. 16.
There is. That's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. You know, this year we're gonna have the first. I don't know why I said this weekend, but this year upcoming we're gonna have the first ever championship weekend. That will have all the games leading up to count for seeding, and then it'll go into a weekend series of games that will crown the champion. So it's going to be a whole new format. Obviously, it doesn't matter if we're struggling for 6 months of the year. If you're playing well that weekend, championship can be yours. So,
Wow.
I mean, it's going to create a lot of storyline. It's going to create a lot of drama, excitement, and it's going to be exciting.
What new ideas do you think are making baseball more fun for everyone? And what are your thoughts on MLB talks about the golden batter rule?
Well, I think for my side of the game, I think the pitch clock has been truly beneficial. I still believe it's a little too fast. I think they could add a couple more seconds between pitches to not be as crazy. Does it take away from some crazy build-up moments in the postseason? Sure, but when we have guys that before the pitch clock are taking 45 seconds to a minute between pitches, like that just kills our game.
Yeah.
So I think the pitch clock has helped a lot. And then just to speak on the golden bat rule, I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, that's asking for too much. Like it just doesn't. I think it takes away from the game a little too much.
Real baseball is kind of getting closer to banana ball.
No, I think I agree. The pitch clock, it was always the downfall of baseball was how long it took. It was always a struggle to remain locked in as a fan for the 4 hours or however long the games were, and it was always just too long. And I'm not saying that baseball needs to try and get to the 2 hours that we play in, because that would take away a lot of the competitiveness and it would take away a lot of like the strategic aspect of it. But I love the new pitch clock rule. I think that it definitely made it easier to watch. The golden bat, so having been dealing with it for a year, and having it been me that has gotten taken out. As the hitter that got taken out, I didn't mind. I know that it's entertainment is what we always supply to the fans. If you were to try to implement it in the MLB, I think that it would take away some of the strategic aspect of needing a full 9 to win a baseball game. And that's where you need to try and field the best team possible. And you need to try and field the best lineup possible for your team's success. Now, if you don't do it correctly, it should hurt you, but being able to have that golden batter, it takes away the need for that, because then you can have some guys at the bottom half of the lineup that if need be, you can always throw in your best hitter at that time. So obviously it creates an amazing spectacle whenever you got Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani going against each other. Obviously everyone wanted to see that, and it happened. And that's where the original thought for the golden batter came up, is that they want to see that happen more. But I just don't. I think for Major League Baseball, I think that it would get a lot of backlash, and it would not be received really well, because then you don't have to have that perfect lineup, or you don't have to have those struggling hitters at the bottom come up in those big moments and come through for you. You can just always rely on that main guy you got, and I think it would just it wouldn't go over really well.
Yeah, I think you said it right there too. It takes away from, let's just say I was a hitter, right? So I'm not a top end prospect. I'm not no superstar, but man, I come through that one time for the team, and it's in a big moment. Now it's like my name's remembered, and like there's yeah, you guys know your favorite teams. Like there's certain players that like no one else knows about, but you know him because he had that big player, that big inning. I feel like it really takes away from the opportunity for those type of moments to be truly special for
Most
fan
famous home
bases.
run in Yankees history almost is Chuck Knobloch. Nobody knew his name. Nobody really remembered him, and he hit a home run off Tim Wakefield in the World Series. Or no, ALCS. But he hit that, and imagine if you had the golden batter, then you bring up your number one guy, which back then I believe it was probably going to be Paul O'Neill, or one of those guys that we already know is a mundane name, but now he comes up. Oh no, Aaron Boone. Who am I talking about? Knobloch. Aaron Boone, he comes up and gets that home run. Now everyone knows that as the biggest moment in his career, biggest moment in Yankees history as of recent. And if we have golden batter, that doesn't happen. And we have a new hitter up, and could have a whole different outcome. So I think baseball itself, there needs to be some things that remain untouched. And I think the way that the lineups work, I think that it'd be best for baseball itself to have that. I think it's great for banana ball, but I think MLB should keep it how it is.
Now, if they wanted to make it to where you did that in like extra innings, okay, hey, we can start to line up where we want it, or we can move that. That's my only way I would say it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Just, speed those games up because, we don't want to be throwing more innings than we need to because the season's already long. So.
Yeah.
What was the youth baseball scene like when you were growing up? Was it as cutthroat as it is now, or was it focused on development and growth? And what things do you see in youth baseball that may be different than when you played?
I mean, realistically for me, it wasn't as cutthroat. I played baseball growing up, but I didn't play as frequently. I was more of a little league player that played on those teams. I played travel ball for a couple years here and there, but I wasn't so hell-bent on it because I had golf that I was mainly focusing on. I did get cut from a travel ball team, so it wasn't the best thing in the world, but it wasn't that bad from a competitive standpoint. Nowadays, I like the whole new swagger that the players are bringing to the game at a young age, and they're expressing themselves and they're having a little bit more freedom. I'm not a huge fan of the cookie cutter mentality in the box or that everybody has to swing a certain way, teacher man type stuff. I'm not a huge fan of that because everyone's swing is their own swing, and that's what makes everyone's swing special. So that's the one thing I've seen in youth baseball today that I'm not a huge fan of is everyone's trying to emulate this one thing whenever you can be your own person and succeed. But yeah, no, growing up for me, it wasn't that stressful. I wasn't even really thinking about baseball that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the same for me. I played 3 sports growing up. Every season within the year was a different sport. I didn't play really competitive baseball, like travel baseball, till I was in high school. But I also think, like, when I was your guys' age, travel ball really wasn't that big of a thing yet. It still was a lot of little leagues. And then teams would come together, at least in the North, and we would like make tournament teams from each little league, and compete like at the end of the years and stuff. So with that being said, I think it was a little cooler that we had our league 8 to 10 teams. So we were playing teams and we had schedules that were set up like consistently. It wasn't a bunch of crazy travel. So I don't think it was as cutthroat there as it could be now. And just like what Dustin said, I just feel like there's not as much like freedom now that I see. Like everyone's getting taught the same way when really the game is so unique because we all move differently. And like you can't, he's a cookie cut a kid to pitch the same or to hit the same. Maybe you can do it for fielding because footwork is proper and it's super important, but everybody's arm angle is different and your biomechanics. So I just think there's a lot of I honestly think what's happening is the competitive training and all that stuff is being pushed down too soon instead of just letting y'all be athletes. Like I feel like you shouldn't really specify and train until you're 14, 13, 14-ish. I like seeing kids come in at one or parents that reach out to me, hey, like I really want my son to turn into a PO. I'm like, dude, he's 8 years old. Like you don't even know what he can do yet, so that's the only part of the youth game I don't like right now.
I have questions. So, did you guys have, when you guys were growing up, did you guys have a really good coach that lifted you up and also a pretty bad coach that put you down?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Everywhere you go, you're always going to have good coaches, bad coaches.
Yeah.
I had my dad coach me for first couple of years because it was little league, so it was more like we had a couple dads on the team. I had a pretty decent high school coach too. Like he helped me with some stuff. And I had a junior college coach that really helped me. Same with everywhere you go, even at A&T and in pro ball. So you definitely had good coaches, and just sometimes you're gonna butt heads with coaches that you just don't agree with because you might be trying to change something that you don't agree with. So yeah, there's definitely been guys that uplifted, I would say, for both of us, and then there's also been guys that have you get mature enough to where you just you don't react to him. You just absorb what he has to say and say yes, sir, and doesn't mean you have to do it or take it. But you still got to be respectful because that is your coach at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna name names just because I don't like to put people out there. That's gonna remain in my head and in my heart. But I had a coach that, I'm not gonna say it's his fault. I could have been an adult and stood up and said no. I had a coach that misused me a little bit in high school that caused me to have Tommy John surgery at a very young age. Now it's not his fault completely because I had a choice, obviously. But having averaged over 100 pitches per game as a ninth grader, with at least 60% being curveballs, it was obvious misuse, and I should have stood up and said something. But I feel like as a coach now, I could never let a player do that. That I would be coaching. I would never allow it, and I would never want that for anybody. So, yes, I've had coaches that have misused me. They have put me down. Like I told you, I got cut from a team, from a 12-year-old team. I got cut after a practice, and I was told I wasn't good enough, that they were bringing a new kid in to replace me. Like, I'm 12 years old. That's harsh. But then I've also had amazing coaches. I'll name him. His name's Al Abazetta. He took me through my whole Tommy John recovery program, step by step, day by day. Always could count on him. Showed up every single day, early, made sure that I did everything by the book, down to a T. And I can never thank him enough for what he did to me. And it meant so much as a 10th grader for him to individually pick me out of the team and invest all of his time into me just because of my recovery process. So, yes, there you're gonna have good coaches, you're gonna have bad coaches. Like Gates said, the number one thing you do is respect, no matter what, whether it be a good coach or a bad coach. You give them respect because you treat them how you would want to be treated, and whether it is good or bad, respect is all that we can really give to each other. So that's how you manage it, is give respect, move on, keep getting better, keep trying to find ways to get better.
Yeah. This one game, me and this kid on my team is actually Evan.
Hmm.
We both threw 82 pitches. No, so yeah, about 82 pitches in a game. And I caught the whole game for Evan, and I think he played short almost the whole entire time. And he toughed it out. And he toughed it out. He's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a very rough year for me that year. And obviously my arm was killing me the whole time, but as Gates said earlier, I don't like to let the team down. The team is my number one priority, and I was that year, with trying to say it as humble as possible, I was our best pitcher. I was our best chance to win a game. So whenever my number was called, I showed up and I threw until I couldn't throw anymore. And even then, I started throwing knuckleballs to try and push through it and still get guys out. And nothing would stop me from being on that mound with the team. So it's just, you got to look out for yourself sometimes and your health. And I wish I would have done that, but also I'm happy I didn't, because I learned so much from that experience, and it made me into the person that I am, having gone through that. And I've been able to pass that on coaching wise to younger players now for 4 years, on how to take care of your body, take care of your arm, to be able to last and not have to go through what I went through.
Yeah. What are some strategies for dealing with frustration or disappointment after a tough game and turning them into learning opportunities?
I think reflecting on it, in baseball, the blessing about the game is you got another game tomorrow, unless it's the last game of the season. Something in pro ball that we harp on. Hey, you're going to be back out there tomorrow. So just finding a way to flush what may have happened, and just know that this game is so extremely hard, and a lot of weird things can happen. Like I can make a great pitch and the guy just puts a better swing on it, or a guy can have a great swing and hit the ball as hard as he could, but it was right at somebody. So, there's a lot of uncontrollable factors, but you can control your thing by just how you carry yourself with success or failure, and then finding ways to, maybe if you have the chance, like, to go back and watch film, see where you may have done something different, or look at sequences, or like, man, did I make the right swing decisions on that? Like, was I in leverage counts? So there's a lot of like little things you could look into, I think, that would really help throughout the course to just reflect on it, both positive or negative, but not riding the wave like too high if you're up, and not sinking if you're too low.
Yeah, like me and Riley have talked numerous times about when and hitting in particular. You got to take the game into your own hands. Don't give it to somebody else. Don't let them control it. Don't let them dictate it. We talked about a couple of strikeouts that he had recently. The number one question is, what pitches did you miss to get 2 strikes? There's always a reason whenever you fail, or the reason why you failed. And you have to look back at yourself and look back at your own performance and say, I missed my first pitch. If I would have hit that and done my job on the first pitch, I wouldn't have gotten this pitch and then I wouldn't have struck out. So it's taking accountability and not trying to point the finger at the umpire, point the finger at the pitcher, catcher, whoever it is. You can't point the finger. You got to point it right back at yourself and understand what you struggle with. And then you combat it. I mean, this game's all about failure. From the pitching side, from the hitting side, you're going to fail in this game more than you succeed. And you just have to come to terms with that. And that's whenever you can start getting over those failures a little bit easier, because you know that it's a roller coaster. And when you go down, you're going to come back up soon. And hitting's a roller coaster for sure. Pitching is as well. He can make an amazing pitch. I've seen him make amazing pitches from shortstop, and hitters do their job, which is making good swings. And I've also hit the ball on a line to every person on the field. I feel like in my career, did I make a bad swing? No. It just, unfortunately, it didn't fall in my favor. So you just got to understand that this game is a roller coaster, and you're going to go down, you're going to go up, you're going to struggle, you're going to succeed. You just have to ride it and stay about as middle as you can, and just understand that you're trying to have fun at the end of the day. So don't let one at bat take you out of the rest of the game. There's always next at bat, there's always next pitch, there's always next play. Just focus on making sure that next play, you do everything you can to make sure you succeed in that one.
And not letting that one game carry over into the week or the weekend, or one bad weekend carry over into a whole month, So it's just the ability to bounce back quicker and quicker from learning. Failure is the greatest teacher.
Piggybacking what Evan said, so if you worry about yourself, you can't do a good job. Like, if you're in the MLB and he threw a 100-mile fastball to a batter and he hits a home run off of it, you can't do anything about that.
Nope.
I mean, hey, sometimes you put a good swing on it. It's just that it's how the game goes. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero got a base hit off a ball that bounced. Is the pitcher mad at the pitch he made? No. It was just, again, it fell in his favor. He got a hit. Like, you just got to tip your cap and go on to the next guy, and that's how baseball is.
I think too, once you get to the highest of levels, like where I'm at, like everyone's here for a reason. Like this guy was picked up to hit the ball the same way I was picked up, so he doesn't hit the ball. Something has to give, whether I get him out or he gets me. So I think just having that respect for the game, that's why the game's so cool, because it's just an individual battle each and every single time. Like, it's me versus that guy. It's so cool.
Yeah. Coach Lance, my coach, he said that the game of baseball is a bunch of tiny little races.
Smart coach.
What I think is so cool is, like, people say baseball is a team game, but it's really like an individual game with a team concept behind it, because no one can throw a pitch for me. No one can field a ground ball for you. No one can step in the box. But, like, we individually have to put all our collective efforts together to help the team win. And I just think it's so cool, because, in football, if you miss a block, a running back might help you out. Or if you miss a tackle, like, a safety may come and pick you up. Like, there's no picking you up in baseball. Like, if you mess up, like, you're on an island.
Yep.
But that's why I think this game is so cool.
You both played together at North Carolina A&T. How important is it for young players to balance their passion for baseball with other activities and schoolwork?
I mean, it's the number one thing. Whenever you go to college, you're a student athlete. The reason that students first is because when you go to these college programs, you're there to get your diploma, you're there to get your degree, you're there to you're there to start your career, whether it be baseball or not. You're there to start your life as an adult. And obviously, Evan and myself have been blessed enough to continue playing baseball to this point. But a lot of people, that's not the case. And when you go to school and you're playing baseball every day, you're still working towards that other goal, which is to get yourself in the best position for later in life where you can have a job that pays the bills and keeps the food on the table, a roof above your heads and stuff like that. So whenever you balance those two things, there's amazing people that help you balance those. There's academic advisors, there's your teammates that can help you with studying. There's all these things. So like really finding that perfect balance between the two of putting in that extra time to get better at baseball and then also being up for the extra time and to make sure that you're succeeding in the classroom. I think it's just more so important that you focus on just doing the best you can to like provide yourself for the best future. He was amazing in school. He did a great job of balancing it. I, on the other hand, did not. I found a way to make it work, but I put aside too much time, video games, stuff like that, and I put myself in a bad position. I would always advise people at your age, when you get to that point, sit down, do your homework, sit down, study, focus on this, and you'll always have time for the video games outside of that. Focus on your future.
Yeah, I think you said the words balance. I mean, you got to find other stuff to do outside the game. The game will suck you in and chew you up and spit you out if you overindulge in it. And especially like being a student athlete, like you said, like, both of us were fortunate enough that like they were paying for our school, so we're in a spot where we don't have that debt and we're getting a degree. Like you want to honor that. You want to make sure you get that. Because it puts you so far ahead of like your peer group and sets you up in life. And so there's always ways to balance it out. Like you'd be surprised how much, especially as a student athlete, how much actually free time you do have if you just, don't find a way to waste it and make it more beneficial, even if it's like between the day. So for myself during school, I would have time between classes. So I would do all my homework and stuff between then. So that when I got home, I was able to, play video games with my roommate who he was always playing video games, and then just do other activities, so it's all about balance and learning how to time manage.
Yeah. I mean, if you play video games first before you do your homework, you're gonna lose track of time and you're gonna do it for the whole entire day. And
You ain't doing no homework after playing video games.
What you got for us?
How do you deal with the pressure that baseball can bring? And how can young players develop a growth mindset and view challenges as opportunities to learn and improve?
Rely on your teammates. Rely on your teammates, rely on your coaches. Don't try and carry the burden yourself. If you try and handle all these things on your own without speaking about it or without addressing it, it's going to eat away at you. I do the best job I can with talking about hitting, talking about my failures, talking about my successes with our hitting coach, with other players, our outfielders, Reese Hampton and Jake Skoll. I talked about with Chase. Like I talk to all these guys day in and day out about struggles, whether it be hitting, fielding, anything. I'll talk to them about it because when you try and handle a situation or try and go over and find an answer for something, two minds are stronger than one. So the more brains you can have thinking about it, the easier it is to find that answer and realize what's going on. So I'd say rely on your teammates. Let them know what's going on. Ask them questions. Hey, what did you see? Like, why did I do that? And then they can probably tell you if they're true teammates that are going to give you a real answer. Take the constructive criticism they give you and apply it. And a lot of them say, hey, you rolled that pitch over. Can I stay through it? Okay, now I know what I have to do. So it's just use the tools around you.
I think you said you got a lot of people around you that care. Everyone knows how hard the game is. What the pressure is really is a privilege, because like you want to come through in that moment, or the coach has put you there to come through in that moment because he believes in you. And I had a chaplain tell me once that like the outcome's already determined. Like the Lord's already determined how this is going to go. So just go be free and go play it up. Like what's the point of being super nervous? Like just go out there and like enjoy it. And that's definitely freed me up a lot too. Knowing that, no matter, like I said, I can make a great pitch, but it's in the cards that it's going to be a floating hit into right center and scored a winning run, and it is what it is. But it has definitely freed me up knowing that like the outcome, it's already been written, the outcome's determined, and all I got to do is go out there and just play and have fun and enjoy it. So yeah, that's a way to alleviate the pressure. Is just knowing that even at your guys' smallest of levels, like everything's known. So let's go play and be free.
Mhm. Time for a little segment we like to call home run or strikeout. We're going to ask you a series of topics, and you're going to decide if they're home run or strikeout. Pineapple on pizza.
Strikeout.
Home run.
Strikeout. And I'm saying strikeout because family's from New York. I'm a purist about pizza. I get cheese only, and that's how I've always done it. That's how it's been raised in my
Cheese.
family. So sorry.
New York style. I like pineapple. That's a home run for me.
Yeah.
Not
Cheese.
every pizza, but I do like it.
Yeah.
I'm a pepperoni person.
There you go.
Dustin, what part of New York?
My family's from the Poughkeepsie area, which is slightly northern towards the Connecticut border.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real New York that you guys are thinking of. That's country New York-ish.
Socks with sandals or slides.
It's a double because I need to do it. I'll be walking around with them a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That's it might be frowned upon. We travel a lot on a bus on an air. I'm going with a home run. I can't have my toes out, but I'm telling you, whenever you get on those flights and you get on the bus, having the slides, easy access on and off,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't have my toes out, so I gotta go home run.
How about the Sandlot?
Home run.
Home run.
Home run.
Travel sports.
Well, I'd say home run.
Yeah, I mean, you create some of the most fond memories out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, home run.
Well, I know what Baber's gonna say on this one. And I think I know what Evan's gonna say. Baseball video games.
Home run. So my greatest college memories are in our living room playing Battle Royale, me, Baber, and Leon, and Fox.
Yep.
And
Getting
Chavis.
12 and 0.
So that's a home run for me.
Home run, 100%.
Mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Strike out.
I'm gonna say strikeout, and if my fiance sees this, she's gonna kill me because it's her favorite. So I'm gonna say strikeout though. I can't stand it.
Playing more than one sport as a kid.
Home run.
Home run.
Grand slam.
Yeah, home run. Do as many as you want. I did diving one year in high school.
Jeez, you would.
I just like I thought it was gonna be fun, so I did it. There's always explore it. You never know what you're gonna love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Baber's an all-state basketball player too.
I do baseball and karate.
There you go. I love that.
Start doing lacrosse. So I'm doing baseball, lacrosse, and karate.
Mhm.
This in February, I'm gonna be a brown belt.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
Climb in the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is a good one. Roller coasters.
Home run.
I'm gonna go home run. I'm not a big fan of them, but I'm a fan of a couple, so I'm not gonna hold down the other ones just because a couple that have made me not do too well. So
It's so exhilarating. I love them.
Favorite.
Yeah.
I went to you should have went. What was it called, Riley?
Cedar Point.
Yeah,
Cedar Point in Ohio?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, that's the best spot, man, right there.
Mhm.
Millennium Force was
Millennium Force, that 90-degree drop. Did you go on a dragster?
yeah.
Dragster's fun too.
The Jacks.
I can't I didn't go on it because it was shut down for repair.
Oh, it's always shut down because it's
And
crazy.
Tower was shut down too.
Dang.
But give me any roller coaster and I'll go on it.
Good.
I'm glad you got that in you. I don't.
The only one I'd be nervous about is that one in Saudi Arabia or something. That's like 600 feet tall or something.
Yeah, I gotta quit with that, man. Too much. No, I used to live next to Busch Gardens in Tampa.
I don't think
And
go on.
Go.
Force.
Shikra.
Too much of a job.
Yeah.
I don't like Millennium Force. Sorry, Riley.
My favorite at Busch Gardens is Iron Gwazi.
Iron Gwazi that's a good one right there. I like Cheetah Hunt. I like going fast. Not doing too much crazy flips and stuff, but that speed goes crazy.
At Disney World, I like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Backwards.
Yeah, that one. I'll get you
Check
going.
that out.
What you got?
Before we end tonight, we want to give you an award based on what we love about you guys.
Dustin, we want to give you the Irish Fire and Leadership Award. This award honors a player whose passion for the game, combined with their leadership skills and teaching ability, lights a fire in their teammates and students, inspiring success.
I am
That's
very
awesome.
appreciative.
Coach, we want to give you the Gator Greatness Award.
Alliteration there.
Yeah, I like that.
I've personally always been a big fan of your nickname.
Go Gators!
Nice. That was my dream school growing up. So fits the motto.
To inspire, mentor, and develop young athletes both on and off the field, like me.
Cool, man. Thank you, Brycen and Riley. Appreciate that.
Coaching, you have nurtured a culture of excellence, sportsmanship, and faith. Your relationship with Jesus is inspiring to those around you, especially your athletes. And I personally want to thank you for helping on our team this offseason.
No, thank you, man. Appreciate hearing that. Means a lot. And you are very welcome. It is my honor and privilege to do it. So I'm glad I got to and got the opportunity to come be with y'all this offseason.
All right. Time to flip the script. Do you have any questions for us?
I'm going to ask the question, Riley. Yeah, I got to ask it. What do I got to do to be above Chase Acuff as your favorite player? You know, I'm right there next to him in the middle, man. And I see the green vest, but I know Chase has got that special place. What did Chase do to get that special place for you?
So, February last year, I saw his necklace and I saw them like all over the place, and I was like, "That's cool." Party Animals are my favorite team, so on my birthday he gave it to me, and I like that. Stuck with me, but you're up there. You're up there.
Nah, I know Chase got that special place. I know those necklaces became a really big hit, and hey, he earned it. I can't argue with that. It's a great reasoning right there.
Speaking of Riley's birthday, so the first game I'm going to go to is his birthday weekend, and I'm going to wear Party Animal gear. That's going to be his birthday present.
Yeah.
Nice. He's switching sides.
There you go. Finally.
Not
Finally.
It's Riley's present.
You don't have to admit it. It's okay. It's all right. We understand. You got to try and save face right now, but we understand this is the first step into realizing Party Animal Nation is just a lot more fun, man.
It is. I'm agreeing. I'm biased though. My guy plays for him. I guess my question is, what is y'all's favorite and least favorite position to play?
My least favorite is probably, I don't like right for some reason. I just don't like outfield at all.
Yeah, it's boring at your age.
I mean, yeah.
For me, my favorite position, second base.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Hey, that's all right. I'm not gonna argue with that.
I've played it for a really long time, and yeah, and then my least favorite, no offense, Brycen, but catcher, because I used to catch, but like now when I go back there, because I never do, I just get hot and sweaty like the first minute, and I'm like, I'm done with this.
So I'm out on that.
Come on. My favorite's either pitcher or catcher.
Nice. Center of the action.
I like all the ground balls coming to me. That's why I like second.
Before we sign off, what would be one thing you would want to tell your 10-year-old self?
Oh, that's a good question, man.
That's a solid one right there.
I think I would tell my 10-year-old self not to give up because of where I'm at today. That's 16 years ago. So, and just I honestly would tell him, hey, make sure you soak up every moment and maybe start journaling. Like I journal now, like when I go a little bit more in depth in my throwing logs, like where I talk about the memories or funny stuff that happened or took notes on something someone said. I would tell my 10-year-old self just to really be in the moment and try your best to remember as much as you can. Because I mean, there's so much if you just stick with this game that it can provide for you, memory wise and friendship wise. And I'd tell my 10-year-old self too, like you found your wife through baseball. So I would just tell him, hey, this game's great. Don't ever give up, no matter how tough it gets.
Yeah. I think the one thing I'd tell myself is to come out of my shell earlier. Obviously, now I have this social platform that I enjoy providing content daily, and just to come out of my shell and do that more frequently at an earlier age, just so I could experience more things. I feel like being more secluded at my younger age, I was kind of sheltered, and I did to myself because I chose to be more of a recluse. But I think just go experience stuff, take some risks. Don't be too worried about other people's opinions. Go enjoy life and see what stuff you can get into and go make some memories. Because I know there was a lot of times where I got invites to stuff and I got opportunities to do stuff and I turned it down. And it was simply because I was uncomfortable. Like, go be comfortable being uncomfortable. Like, you can never know what opportunities or what things are going to happen if you just go take a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I would tell myself.
Babe, you got anything to say to Baber?
What up, dog?
His face looks good compared to when you hit him.
Yeah.
Baber, what do you got to say?
What you got?
Hit the foul ball in my head.
I did?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I didn't mean to.
Hey, you should do it more often.
You should have caught it.
Yeah,
Would've been
no,
out.
no, no. I blocked everyone. I tried to block everyone from catching it because I'm always voting for the party animals.
Yeah.
That was too slow diving to get it, and then it hit Bear. So
Man, I'm sorry, man.
Catch it.
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to.
I don't think Bear wanted to catch it either.
My brother got a free bobblehead.
Hey, hitting's hard, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude.
A huge thank you to Dustin and Evan for coming on the show tonight. We appreciate you spending time with us.
Oh, yeah, dude. Of course, had to.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us on. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This is Brycen.
And Riley.
Thank you for joining us for this episode, and until next time.
Think about what kind of kid you want to be.